Hey everybody, I hope the audio and everything is good and the lighting is getting screwed. Do you see this? I promise you, it was bright, sunshiny literally 2 seconds ago. Two seconds ago, but this is Florida. So now it looks like it's about to rain and thunderstorm. What are you gonna do? But anyways, we're not here to talk about Florida or my parrots that are in the background of this video for some reason. That is the case. I don't know. We're always moving locations, just the way it is. This place is kind of comfy now. I like it. We're here to talk about how the UK is cooked. We got a couple of videos, but first let's start off with this, okay? I don't know if where we're at, what we know. Make sure this is recording audio. Thank God it is, because if it didn't, I wouldn't even restart it. This video wouldn't even just happen. So the UK right now, I'm sure we all know it's fucked. Constant censorship for everything. There's a guy, let's bring this up here, named Tommy Robinson, who's holding a protest in London on the 13th of September, so soon, in a few days. And it's going to be big. Apparently, it's like twice as massive. Wow, I can't speak, as it was last year, or maybe even 3 times as massive. I don't know. Anyways, it's huge. Okay, just because of the amount of crazy shit that is happening in the UK. I don't live in the UK, Jan. I don't know anything about Tommy Robinson. I'm American, or I'm from wherever the fuck. Okay, let me educate you a little bit. This guy, okay, Tommy Robinson, was arrested a few years ago for coming forth with major grape gangs in the UK. And the problem with that is the government arrested him for speaking out about horrible things that were happening to children and women and people that were just vulnerable in general. Okay, that's a red flag and a half. Anyways, he got arrested, went to jail without trial, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, he was released not too long ago, and he held a rally a year or two ago, and then this year it's even more because of the more crazy shit that's happening. And one of the crazier things that's happening, I don't know if you know V for Vendetta, the younger kids that are watching this. V for Vendetta? Right here, okay? This movie, V for Vendetta, it is based in the UK as well, and it's when the government takes full control over the society, all right? If whoever hasn't watched this movie, go watch it. Takes full control over the society of the UK, and they monitor everything they're fucking doing, anything they believe. So pretty much, if you want information, the information is provided to you by the government. So whatever the government deems worthy, they're the ones who give it to you, and then you absorb the information, whether it's right or wrong. That is only the things that you get. That's why, for example, North Korea is really bad, because that is what they're doing there. So they're trying to do the same thing in the UK, which is kind of stupid, don't you think? Don't you think that is so stupid? Because the UK, it's not like it's a shit third world country or some place that is, you know what I mean. It's the UK. Come on now. The Queen of England. It's the UK. There's smart people there. Anyways, they're trying to pull that off, the government there in the UK, by arresting roughly about 30 plus people a day for online tweets and posts. Isn't that retarded? That's evasion of freedom of speech. So, Tommy Robinson holding a thing on September 13th, and this one guy who is some military dude in the UK said that shit's gonna go down on that day. So we're gonna go on a deep dive. We're gonna watch a little bit of videos and see how it goes.
The kind of video I thought I'd be making on a Sunday morning, and just for the purposes of any police officers or MI5 agents who are watching this video, I do not support any kind of coup action in the UK. So why then am I talking about it? Well, I'm talking about it because of a post made by Ant Middleton, a former Special Forces soldier and all-round celebrity. And here's what Ant had to say. On the 13th of September, I will ask for something of the British public, British patriots, that I would never ask of if I weren't willing to lead the charge. If certain individuals can ask for our throats to be with zero accountability or repercussion, then that allows us free rein.
Sorry for the people who are just listening to me talking and not actually watching the video. When you would, it's because the guy wrote, if certain individuals can ask for our throats to be slit with zero accountability for repercussions, then that allows us free reign to defend ourselves in such a manner. But just so you guys know, I know some of you just have me in the background, so you know.
To defend ourselves in such a manner that will rattle foreign hostiles and our government to the very core. Choose a side, because this is ultimately what it has come down to.
Oof.
See you on the 13th of September and prepare your shields.
Prepare your shields. Didn't they use that somewhere? Prepare your shield. Did you take that? Prepare your shields. Shields. There you go. It's from the Bible. Wow. Prepare your shields. It's a direct quote from the book of Jeremiah. Wow. Where it's an instruction to an army to get ready for battle by gathering their armor, including shields, spears, and helmets, and then mount their horses for the fight. Wow, that is awesome, huh? Damn, this is some V for Vendetta shit. Look at that. Oh man, it's thunderstorming. Hopefully I don't lose power, but isn't that insane? I think that's absolutely insane. We don't need to go watch more of this guy's video. I just wanted to get that point across. But if you do want to, there's his channel. Anyways. Okay, so other than that, now, another thing that happened in the UK, and this happened, I think, today. Was it today? Was it yesterday? I'm trying to think. I think it was today. Like earlier today. Anyways, happened recently. Let's just leave it at that. Happened recently. Now, regarding everything in the UK, now you're asking me, Jan, why is the government doing these things in the UK? Well, one of the main reasons that there is a big problem in the UK is because of the major amount of illegal immigration that is happening there. And one of the big things that, there was multiple things that happened, but one of the major things that happened is that there were illegals that caused major harm to a lot of minors, and now they're getting free housing. They even asked for an island or something at one point, if I'm not mistaken. The citizens of the UK are just over that shit. Honestly. That's what it is. They're over the shit. And shit's gonna go down. It looks like... I'm not saying I'm advocating or anything. Just don't... Okay? I'm just saying from what I'm gathering, I'm doing my little research. I do post videos every single day about news, so I do look at a couple of things. But yeah, so we're gonna watch this. This is regarding how angry they're getting now because of the free shelters and all the shit that they're getting. From my boy Cash Jordan. I love his videos.
Civil unrest in the United Kingdom has reached a boiling point, and the situation is so dire that rumblings of civil war are being heard.
So what some in the UK are calling civil unrest is starting to look a lot like civil war. And what began as predictable outrage over free hotels for illegal immigrants quickly escalated when those wishing for a secure island were told by their government to keep quiet or go to jail. But what the government didn't expect is there are many people in England who don't see that as a threat.
Barriers are gone. Bit of argy-bargy, cat and mouse.
Thousands of protesters have taken to the streets across the UK, angry over the number of asylum seekers.
That the police officers, I get it, it's your job, but like there has to come to a point where you say no, or it's enough, or sooner or later you're gonna find yourself at the point like the Nazis in World War II. Did you ever hear the stories about that shit? Like, what is that? There is this, you can look it up. Look up, Google, the most aggressive Nazi woman person, okay? There was this woman who was known for beating and cutting and doing all this stuff to, you know, her prisoners that she pretty much had in the concentration camp. And she said when she started off, okay, when she was told that she had to start doing certain things, she couldn't even whip, she couldn't smack. She thought anything was disgusting. But you what is it? You sear yourself, your conscience enough, sooner or later, you're gonna fall into it. You're gonna believe the bullshit that what you're doing is the right thing because whoever you're doing it to is not a real person or is not this or that. You name it, whatever the case may be. That's how people start getting to that craziness of a point. Okay, now these UK officers, they need to have some sort of backbone. They need to. I don't fucking know. I don't know. If your government is telling you you need to start arresting your own people, but not arresting people who are actually doing crimes, not like you, the police have to get to a point where they're like, it's enough. Now imagine this, okay? We know all this shit is happening in the UK. Imagine if this was happening in the UK, but then the police were like, enough, we're not doing anything, we're siding with the people. This would go down, this would disintegrate overnight. Because now they have the police on their side because they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're not just following orders mindlessly for no reason, actually causing civil unrest in your own country. Yeah, makes no sense. I remember watching this lady get arrested the other day. It's fucked up.
Housed in hotels. A whopping 32,000 people. That's an increase of 8% since last year.
Local people, by and large, do not want these hotels in their towns, in their place, and nor do I.
He's an absolute total hypocrite.
Nah,
he has
Keir
had this in his
Starmer.
power to...
Keir Starmer. Wow. That guy. Like, I don't even know. You know, if you don't have something nice to say, you shouldn't say it. I'm just not.
Stop this. Look what happened when President Trump came into office. At the southern border, actually no illegal crossings.
There are so many police on our backs right now. Technically, you have no legal rights to protest, but we don't care. If you don't deport, this is what you get.
But if you want to be a sovereign nation, you must control your borders. I would have thought this issue was the #1 issue behind Britain leaving the EU, the whole Brexit debate going back many years now. Yet governments, especially left-wing governments, can't bring themselves to be strong enough to control their borders.
These aren't coming through the legal channels, and the government and that know that. Send them straight back. And I don't care if they lock me up for saying that.
Getting locked up for saying that. Isn't that crazy that he's even saying that? That he's like, oh, I don't care if they lock me up.
One of the worst jobs on the planet right now is that of a British police officer who now has to jail their own countrymen. And what nobody's talking about at all of these riots, it's the police in the yellow vests versus people who have an opinion the government doesn't like. A situation no modern nation that claims to have free speech has ever afflicted its citizens with. And with hundreds being jailed every single week for offenses as benign as a retweet, many of those protesting mass illegal immigration have doubts about the sustainability of their social order. A social order which has decided that thought crimes are worse than physical crimes. And they are. But only if you're the government trying to ram unpopular...
1984. Okay, there's a movie and a book, 1984, George Orwell, where they have the thought police and all this crazy shit. Read it or watch the movie. It'll blow your mind. You'll be like, wait a minute, this guy made a movie about literally what is happening? Isn't that? It's insane. It's insane.
throats of your entire citizenry. Policies that involve converting hotels and now even nursing homes into full-time shelters for illegal immigrants who everyone is told are poverty-stricken and just want a better life, yet traveled halfway around the world through many a sympathetic European country and moved on, as the benefits package rolled out by the UK is apparently 5 stars compared to sleeping on the streets in France. And that brings us to the real reason the protests in the UK aren't going anywhere. You've got a government that has refused to listen to its own citizens. And now you've got people who are going to jail just for flying their country's flag, which sure makes it sound like the government is siding with illegal immigrants over its own legal residents. An absolutely preposterous situation that can only exist in a place where things like the US's Bill of Rights do not exist. And essentially the government here can pass any law they want tomorrow, even if it turns their country into a thought crime prison the very next day. If you happen to have an opinion and you express it like this.
But it looks like the police are trying to cause a scene. Look at that! Look what they're doing! Look what the police are doing!
Elon Musk
what are they
posted
doing? What are the police doing here?
So that's a person who just went to jail for flying their own country's flag in their own country. And it took 5 police officers to take that person down. But what on earth are they so upset about?
Hello, miss.
Excuse me, can
Yeah,
you leave
don't
the building?
panic.
No, the police are
Please
on
don't
route.
panic.
The police are en route. Please leave. Out of the building, please.
Okay, you know you can't touch me, didn't you?
I'm asking you to leave kindly.
Yeah.
Out of the
Where's all
building,
this suitcase come from?
That's irrelevant. No comment. Out of the building.
That is a nursing home turned into a shelter for illegal immigrants where everyone who moves in gets all of life's necessities for free. And as it turns out, England is littered with places like this that just seem to be popping up every single day, which makes sense since nothing's being done to stop the flow of rubber rafts coming across the English Channel from France. And every single one of these folks is going to need a place to stay. And God forbid they get turned around and sent back to France because they didn't come in legally. Oh no, that's not what's happening. But the government's solution to these protests, it might be even worse than what they're doing now. Check this out.
The British taxpayers paying for this. And the only thing that is worse than these hotels, Gabriella, is that the government's new policy is called the scatter policy, which is to approach landlords and to spread the migrants out amongst different houses so that obviously that you deplete the center of concentration of them so that in other words, is less, attractive or less conducive.
So what the government wants to do is they think to themselves, okay, we've got these massive shelters that are housing people, and these are former hotels, nursing homes. These are highly visible locations that people can find and protest. And since we have people living over here and we have the rest of the community over here, well, let's get rid of the hotel and have everyone live together. Let's mix all of the people in our country together. That'll get rid of the protests. That's their solution. Which sounds...
What the hell is wrong with them what the hell is wrong with you in the UK? Even my birds are freaking out. Right? Damn. That's insane. Imagine. I'm just trying to imagine the government knock on my door. Okay. Just be like, oh, hey, Jan, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. I got these 2 guys here. One is 35, the other one is 42. Yeah, I know, it's scary. Even my birds are free. It's not gonna happen. Okay, guys? Relax. It's just a story. Anyways. And then they say, oh, they're illegal. They came here over the boat on a canoe yesterday. They need a place to stay. So you see that you have an extra room available, and they're willing to take it. I hope you, your wife, and your family are doing fine. And yeah, see you later. Imagine, I'm punching that guy in the face. I'm throwing those guys out, and they're not coming in. No. Are you insane? Are you absolutely insane? is a joke. Like it's so crazy. I'm listening to this. It was bright outside, and the more I get into this video, the darker it gets outside. And it's only Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 12:48.
And it's only 12:48 in the afternoon. That's crazy. That's crazy. Just saying. Let's continue.
A person with a college degree was paid millions of dollars to come up with. They really think that people are upset about illegal immigration because they're not direct neighbors. And now the government is offering private landlords 5 years of guaranteed rent. Guaranteed rent for half a decade to house illegal immigrants in their homes. Something they think would eliminate the problem of illegal immigration in their country without eliminating the constant flow of illegal rafts from France by turning people around. But there's another angle to this. If you give an unlimited number of people guaranteed rent for the next 5 years, what do you think that's going to do to rent prices in the UK over the next 5 years? You're going to deplete the supply of available apartments, and the people that have to pay for their own apartment and have to pay for somebody else's apartment, well, they're not going to have enough rent to afford their own place to live for.
And then the worst part is in 5 years, when the government is no longer paying for these illegals rent, they're going to have to start paying rent. They're not going to be able to because the rent prices in 5 years are going to be astronomically high. And then everybody, illegals and the native citizens, are going to be fucked. And then guess what's going to happen? Government's going to have more control because now everybody's going to need the government to come in to help, and then blah, blah, blah. You're fucked. Wow. Way to go. 10 out of 10 plan. Look at that. Now it's starting to rain. What the hell?
Very long, are they?
Osama, and I will say this, is a complete traitor. He should not be ruling this country. He's got no time for the true British people, and I don't care if they lock me up for saying that. You know, I've worked my off in this country, you know, and these come here and they get this. These aren't coming through the legal channels, and the government and that know that. Send them straight back.
People aren't happy about paying taxes, and the taxes have gone up.
So you know what's fascinating about this? The open borders crowd, these are the same people that preach sustainability constantly. All we hear from them is, oh, we need a sustainable cost of living. Oh, we need sustainable this, sustainable that. But there's nothing sustainable allowing an unlimited number of people to enter your country for an unlimited period of time. That's not sustainable. It's not going to work. This society is doomed. But this reveals something else about the migration crisis in the United Kingdom. Why aren't the people who are being allowed into their country, why do they need a place for 5 years? Why don't they need a place for 5 weeks? What's stopping people from integrating with their society?
That's true. Why would the government say that they're housing them for 5 years? That's kind of insane, no? Like, so they're making it like a permanent resident instead of just like something temporary to house people who are in a time of crisis or need, correct? I didn't even think about that. That's kind of insane.
Getting jobs and taking care of their own needs. You see, this is the big scam in the UK and in America. Everybody's been told that mass migration was a great thing and was going to make our countries better. We were told nobody was going to need housing for very long at all, and all of this was just temporary. But this has nothing to do with whether somebody lives in a hotel or whether they're your direct neighbor. No, that's stupid. They're missing the point. But the crazy thing is how far the UK is going to crush an opposing viewpoint. This is just so radical because you think to yourself, oh, North Korea crushes opposing viewpoints. But in the UK, we're crushing opposing viewpoints.
That's exactly what I was saying.
A modern internet-connected country that speaks English and has cameras where they can film.
That's it. That's exactly this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. I better be subscribed. How am I not subscribed to this guy? Like, he's on the money. Yes.
Stuff. That's why you see so much outrage.
There's criminal penalties, and I think in 2023 in the United Kingdom, there were 12,183 arrests for offensive posts. 12,000 people arrested for things they posted online that some trusted flagger approved by the government, the same government that says what's being said at the Democrat National Committee, we need to take back our country, is hate speech. That's a scary scenario. Is that right?
Yeah, they're massive statistics, and I mean some of it comes under non-crime hate incidents.
uploaded a lot of stuff with Nigel Farage recently. This guy is a very, very for free speech in the UK, and he came to the US recently to talk about how the UK right now is turning into a police state, where you say anything that goes opposing to the police or to the state, and you're fucked, and you're getting arrested, like they're saying. Right now, it's about 30 plus a day that are getting arrested for some bullshit that's being typed up. If I have videos like this and then they find out that I traveled to the UK, I could get arrested at the airport. There was a comedian that actually got arrested for a tweet that he posted, and he flew into Heathrow Airport, which is in the UK, and he got arrested. That's fucked. So I would have a better chance of not getting arrested right now. I would have a better chance of not getting arrested in North Korea than in the UK. Isn't that insane? The UK, an English-speaking, high society. Come on now. It's the UK. How much great stuff came from the UK? Like, come on now. Come on now.
You've said something on social media, someone's taken objection, and you get the knock at the door from the police sort of warning you that if you do this again, something may happen. And this has now been broadened out. I mean, Mr. Price made the point, what is hate speech? How do you define hate speech? And that's the problem, isn't it, with all of these laws?
Yep. Yes.
That we finish up in a position where local police forces, etc., have to choose their own interpretations. I think, again...
So the problem here is once hate speech can be anything, nobody has free speech. Do you understand that? And that's why we're seeing so many people getting arrested. The people who are in charge of what is and isn't hate speech, well, their definition has changed. The goalposts have moved, and that's why folks are going to jail for flying their country's flag. But what's truly unprecedented is the number of protests that are overwhelmingly peaceful.
You know how you could tell this is not a protest in the US? There's one flag, or one type of flag. You see, these are all flags of the UK. Yeah, one's a different variation. You see the one with just plain red and white, and then you have the one that we see, the blue and the white and the red. Okay, but it's the UK flag. In the US, you're getting every fucking flag on there. The rainbow flag, every flag besides the US flag. That's how you know it's a US, protest. Another country like Indonesia is having protests right now. Only one flag. Poland, only one flag. Spain, only one flag. England, only one flag. It's insane. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to us, to the US citizens. It's embarrassing. Step your shit up.
Completely taken over areas of the UK where this sort of thing has never happened before. This is wild.
Damn, look at the kids! There is kids. You
Crazy.
bring your kids? I guess, man. Like,
people riding their bikes. It's
V
like
for
a
some
shopping
V for
center.
Vendetta shit. They wanna. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. It is what it is.
Wild.
Look at all the police walking them in. They don't know what to
There's going to
do.
be a lot of police in a minute.
You see the police back there
There
watching.
are so many police on our backs right now.
Yeah.
And I imagine why, because for a very long time, Canary Wharf has been privatised. Technically, you have no legal rights to protest, but we don't care. You don't deport, this is what you get. The hotel is kind of an epicenter.
So, you know what's interesting about this protest? Look behind him. Do you see any broken windows? Do you see any Los Angeles, California style looting and pillaging of
He's
these
not
stores?
wrong.
No,
That's-
look, no one.
That's how you could. That's one of the main reasons you could also tell it's not a U.S. Protest. But there are protests in other countries that do end up getting a little crazy too, like Indonesia. So yeah, but I get where this guy's coming from.
That marched through here caused any destruction along the path. They did not leave a trail of broken anything. There's not even any trash. They're not even littering. So it's a relatively peaceful protest. This is civil disobedience. Now,
I
of
would
course, if
definitely
these
say it is a
folks are
peaceful
breaking
protest.
laws and they're told to
Absolutely.
leave, they should peaceably leave. Keep it that way. The video doesn't show any mass arrests happening here. But the whole free speech situation in the UK is just absolutely frightening. And you know what? If you're an American and you go over to the UK and they don't like your social media posts, something could happen to you. They've just arrested an Irish...
This motherfucker must be listening. He must have cameras or something in the house because he's repeating everything I said. That's insane. And it's insane because it's exactly what I'm saying. And it's not because like a great, like you could say great minds think alike, but that's not where I'm going at. I'm going, if I'm thinking exactly the same thing what this guy is thinking, chances are whoever's watching this is probably thinking what we are also thinking. So there's so many people thinking the same exact things, makes it just solidifies how crazy this shit is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy. And it looks like the fucking UK government thinks nobody pays attention or knows what the fuck they're doing and what's going on. Like they're on drugs or something. Like, come on, brother. What are you doing? Get your shit together.
Comedian is not even British. And he got arrested, taken away by police at the airport. Can you believe that?
Heathrow.
Hearing today is perfect because the head of the Metropolitan Police who arrested Graham Lennon at Heathrow Airport, he's thrown the ball back now to the British Home Secretary and the government to say, please tell us, what is this law intended? What are we supposed as the police to do?
Yeah, they don't even know.
I think we're going to have a much more rapid debate about this. But my worry is it may get worse, if I may quickly.
Yep.
Because the Labour government now are intending to pass a law that has a definition of Islamophobia. They're intending to put that into law. And that effectively will mean that criticism of a religion, mocking of a religion, would become an offence. And that's totally against everything. Because, you know, we've always given the Pope a hard time. We've always given the Archbishop of Canterbury a hard time. So we're finishing up kind of with two-tier law and two-tier justice.
Right. Jeremy Clarkson's 100% right. Wait, no. They kind of sound the same, don't they? Hopefully people vote for Mr. Farage when it's time, because he seems to have some ideas that might help turn the tide here. Nonetheless, the police don't know what to do. They're out there arresting their own citizens. They don't even know how to interpret the laws that they're being told to enforce, because how you interpret speech, thought-related laws is open to interpretation constantly, and those interpretations can constantly change depending on who's in charge. But perhaps the biggest issue behind all of this is that it seems like the United Kingdom is doing more to entice people to enter their country illegally than any other country. And that's another aspect of all of these protests that you're not hearing a whole lot about.
Very simple. Tomorrow, stop all the benefits. It's this pull factor. They're coming all the way from Somalia. Why don't they stop in France? Why don't they stop in Germany? Why don't they stop in Italy and other countries? They're making it...
Because they throw them out. They don't want them there because those countries, if you looked at France recently, they're already fucked. They're already so fucked. It's just embarrassing. If you look at the videos of how the Eiffel Tower looks, oh man. Now their citizens are just becoming also just like, let's just look at it like this. France is fucked because they imported so many different illegals and so many different people from so many different, cultures that now it's a major clash. Now what's happening is the people that were initially there are completely being overrun, completely. And they're now, because they can't function or do things how they used to, they're forced into now how these people went to France to now they should integrate to France's society because they're going to France for a better life, okay? No. What they do is they went to France, they turned France into their home place because all they say is home is better, so go the fuck back home, but they don't anyways because it fucking sucks anyways. So then they turn France into this third world shithole. And now the people that live in France have to now conform to their standards. Now they have to go from France's standards of where they were to now a third world country. Now they're robbing. Now the amount of times I hear about women pickpocketing some random stranger on the street, a French woman, like the amount of robberies from actual, like the actual citizens just continuously grow up. It's so, it makes no sense. The government doesn't give a fuck.